Good morning, Aylesford class. Hope you're all okay. So we're going to do some computing this morning. And the first thing I'd like you guys to do is to log on to your times table Rockstars. Yesterday, you might remember we spoke a little bit about the times table challenge that you four will take part in June. And this is where you are going to get lots of questions from lots of different times tables. And you are going to complete these questions on a computer. And I thought it'd be really good for us to sort of have a bit of time together to practice this game. So when you log into Times Table Rockstars, you have a home page that looks a bit like this. And the best game to play for you to practice the challenge is this one. That's called Sound Check. So if you click on the Sound Check game, and it says 25 questions, 6 seconds per question. So you've got 6 seconds to do per question, okay? So when you press play, you get counted down like this, and you will get given a times table that you've got to try and answer. So here's 77, okay? And every single time you get it right, it goes green like that. Let's do 81, 9 times 9, 81. And you'll notice when I'm adding them in, I don't press the enter button, I can just leave it. And you can see this sort of bar at the top shows you how many seconds you've got left. So you can keep adding in your totals and just leave it like that, okay? But you haven't got long to work it out. So it's all about knowing your times tables as best as you can, okay? And remember, you can use the 9 times tables for this one, but you can also use the 5 times tables. So you can use both numbers. So this is going to keep ticking along as you go along. I'm going to stop in a minute. When you get to the very end, your scores will come up and you can see how you got on. And I would do this as often as you possibly can, practicing. So you're used to the style of the game, so you don't feel too under pressure when you do it for real, okay? Ooh, I'm running out of time for this one. Oh no, I made a mistake, never mind. So it's easy to make mistakes. So I'm just gonna press, I'm just gonna go back. So I would have a go at this sound check game and get used to it. Also have a go at these other solo games that help practice your times tables as much as you possibly can, okay? So I'm going to let you do this for about 15 minutes or so. And then once you've done that, we are going to then log on to Purple Mash. So here's my home screen for Purple Mash. And what you're going to do on Purple Mash today is you're going to go to your to-dos list, which is this red sort of clipboard picture at the top here. Click on your to-dos list, and you are going to be looking for a quiz that's called Internet Quiz. And it says, can you answer these questions about the internet? So for the next couple of lessons for our computer, we're going to be thinking about using the internet to help us to find information, because that's what we use the internet lots in our lives. So if you're good at searching for information, then you can find things really easily. So on the quiz, once you get it open, you just need to press the play button here. And you've got 4 questions that look like this. And you can see down the side here, you've got a timer. So you've got 5 minutes for your questions, which is plenty of time, okay? So I want to go through the first one with you. And it says, which words make the sentence correct? The blank is a blank of computers blank together. And down the side here, you've got multiple choice questions, each with 3 words used to fill in the space. So say, for example, I chose this bottom one. It would be the interweb is a nation of computers connected together. I'm pretty sure if you heard me say that sentence out loud, it wouldn't sound right to you. And that's because that one is the wrong one. So I've given you a top tip there. But once you have decided which one you want, you would click on your answer. Down here, you just got a picture that you can zoom in and have a look at. And this gives you a little bit of a clue what the answer might be. But once you're finished, you click on the one you want like that, and then you would press done, okay? So this one's the wrong one. I've got a little monkey says it's just wrong. Okay, I'll come back to this one in a minute and I'll go through the answers with you. The next one, it says a question, a blank is used to access the internet and find information. So we're looking for two words. The first word starts with an S and the second word starts with an E. So a something is used to access the internet and find information. I wonder if you can type in down here your answer and find out what it is. And this is a little clue. This is what a lot of them look like. I'm just going to type in something random and press, oops. So get rid of this. There we go. Press done. Oh, no, it's wrong as well. The third question is www.toosimple.com is an example of a website or a web page. So you've got a choice. Is it a website or a page? And again, here's another picture there of what you might recognize. I'm just going to press done for this one so I don't give away the right answer. And then the fourth question is www.toosimple.com/contact is an example of a website or web page. So is it a web page or is it a website? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the quiz and I'm going to give you the answers. So before I do that, I would guess that Mrs. Porter or whoever's in school with you this morning will probably press pause, and you can go away and do your quiz, and we'll go and do the answers when you come back. So, okay, so hopefully you've had a quick chance to do your quiz. Let's go through the answers. So the blank is a blank of computers blank together. So the answer would be the top one. The internet is a network of computers that are connected together. Okay, so the internet is lots of computers all around the world are linked together, they're networked. And that's why we sometimes call it the www, the World Wide Web, because it's a bit like a web and a spider's web, lots and lots of things all linked together. So that's the top one. And then the next one we've got here is a something is used to access the internet and find information. So for this one, the answer is what we call a search engine. So search engine. And then this one, www.toosimple.com is an example of a web page or a website. So this is a website. This is the web page address, toosimple.com. That's your website address. If you click that or type this into your computer, you are going to go to toosimple.com. And you'll see here the main difference with this internet address here is they've got this slash here. So www.toosimple.com/contact. This is an example of a web page that's part of the website. And you can see it, for example, here at the top of my web page here, purplemash.com would be the website, but wherever they've got these little slashes, that's a different part of the website. So each one's an individual web page as part of the website. So this is a web page. Okay, so those are the answers. Yeah, I got 4 out of 4. Okay, so once you've finished this, we're going to think about search engines. So that was for question number 2, search engines, and they are used to help people find information using the internet. And the one that you're probably most familiar with, the one that you probably see all the time at home, is Google. So let's just quickly go back. Here we go. Here is the homepage for Google. And I'm sure lots of you have found this at home and used it at home. If you haven't used Google before, this is the homepage. To get onto Google, there's lots of things you could do. On your top bar here, the very top of your page, you could just type in the word Google. And you can see my computer's so used to doing it that it's already started to fill it out for me. So google.co.uk is the one you want. And you can see I've got here the logo of Google. And then here we've got this search bar. And the search bar is what you're going to use to find out information. Okay, so what I want to do is I want us to practice using the search bar to find information. So for example, one way that we could use Google to help us find information, one way we could do it is to find out the weather for a location. So for example, if I wanted to find out what the weather in London is going to be, I could ask this question: what is the weather going to be in London tomorrow? You can see here that the computer is trying to guess what I'm going to say to save me time. So I can click on that. And we've got here the results. So it's given me the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's given me the temperatures. See the temperatures. You can see it's going to get a bit hotter in London this week. It's also going to tell me that it's partly cloudy this week as well. Precipitation is a term that's used to describe how wet it's going to be. So is it going to rain? So it's telling me it's not very likely it's going to rain this week. And then the wind's going to tell me there's going to be some wind, a little bit of wind coming from the direction here. The arrows show you which direction it's going to come from. Okay. Now you can see here, it's taken me a little bit of time to type in this big, long question into the search bar. If I go to the little X, it says clear, and I can do another one. Okay. So if I go back to the toolbar, what I could do instead is just use some keywords. What I mean by keywords is words that we can type in instead to fill in my question. So my question is, what's the weather going to be like in London tomorrow? Instead, all I could do is type in weather London. Okay, and then press my enter button on my computer. And you can see, look, I've got exactly the same things come up. So the computer is designed to try and do it as quickly as possible for you to save you time. And it's even told me here all the different results it's found. Okay, so on Google, by typing in weather London, it can find me here 1,680 million results on the internet, all about the London website, London weather. Okay, so I've also got some websites down here that tell me what the London is. So it's the BBC weather, got the Met Office there. I've also got some other questions that people have asked that are linked to my search. I've also got some news articles about it as well. Okay, so there's lots of things that you can use it for. If I wanted to change my location, say for example, I wanted to find out what the weather was in New York in America, I could do that one, weather New York. So we're going to have a practice today using this search bar to help us find information. Just going to clear that one. And you can see here, I've also got a few of my old searches are there. So the computer just try to save some of your searches as you go along. And what you're going to do is you are going to get a worksheet that looks like this. And this has actually been printed off for you, so you can write on this. And down the side, we've got some things that I want you to try and use Google for to help you find the answers. The first one is, what is the forecast for the weather in London? Well, we've just done that one. What is the forecast for the weather in New York? Done that one as well. Next one says, what time is it in Sydney? Now, Sydney is a city that's in Australia. So if I go back to my search bar, I could just put in time in Sydney and press the search button. And here it's come up with my answer. At the minute, right now, as I'm making this video, it is 5:32 in the morning. I'm recording this at 8:32 in the evening. So it's very clever. It can work out exactly the time where it is. And it's even told you the date. So for them, I'm filming this Monday evening. It is 5:30 on Tuesday morning at the minute in Sydney. Okay, you guys, when you type it in, will get it even different time. And it says here GMT plus 10, so that means they're 10 hours ahead of us. That's because they're on the other side of the world. But say, for example, I wanted to find out the time somewhere else in the world. So say, for example, I wanted to find out the time, or let's think of a place. Let's do time in, let's have Vancouver in Canada. So at this moment, at 8:30 on a Monday evening, it is 12:30 lunchtime in Canada. And that's because it says here GMT -7, so that means they're 7 hours behind us. So it's really useful to find out where in the world, what the time is. Other things you could find out is results in sports events. So it says here, what was the last result for Manchester City? So for example, if I go back to my search bar, I could just type in results. I do a different football team. How about if I do results Chelsea? Okay, and then just press my search button. It would just come up with all the different results for their different matches. Okay, just get rid of that. So you can see the last few matches for Chelsea, they were in the FA Cup, which they beat Sheffield 2-0. And then the last one I've got is down here. They were in Champions League on Wednesday, the 7th of April, which they won. And then there's another one here that they lost 1-0, and there's another one here that they lost, another one down here that they won. And the computer's very clever. So it's actually put in little videos to show me the highlights of those matches if I wanted to watch the highlights of them. So I could type in that and find out what the last results were. You see the date there. So it's 21st of March, 3rd of April, 10th of April. So the very last game that they played, since the last did, was this one here. So I'll say the 17th of April. Let's look at some other ones you've got. You can also use it to find addresses. So you can find the name and address of a restaurant and of near where you live. So for example, you could type in the name of a restaurant or a cafe or somewhere that's near you and you can find it. So for example, I could type in here. Let's see, I wonder where. Let's see, I wonder where the nearest McDonald's is. I'm just going to put in McDonald's. And it's going to come up with a map. And it's giving me the closest ones to where we are. So you can see the closest McDonald's to where we are is McDonald's in Aylesford. It's given me the phone number. It's told me how often it's open for. It's even told me that you can have a drive-through if I wanted to. If I click on that, it's then going to even open up this section here, which is even going to tell me a little map of where it is. And it's also going to tell me the address. So here's the address. Let's look at some others. We've also got here, what's the postcode of the Prime Minister's house? So one of you can find out what the postcode for that is. We've got here maths question. So you could type in a maths question. So say, for example, I wanted to work out a maths question. So say, for example, I wanted to work out what 4,201 times 5 was. And press my search bar. Oops, let's put a space in it. There we go. We've got a calculator that's come up and it's actually given me a calculator that I can use to search for maths answers as well. Okay, you can even type in calculator. It's going to come up with one that you can use to do your sums on. We've also got some spellings that you could try to spell. So say, for example, I wanted to spell a word. Here's got the word miserable, okay? I could then type in here, just the word miserable, and you can see here, it's already started to try and work out what I want to say. So here's miserable, and it's given me the meaning of it, and the correct spelling is in bold. Another one it's got is definitions of words. You can also use it to find out things like how many people live in different parts of the world. This one says how many people live in the United Kingdom, how many people live in Manchester. Say if I wanted to find out how many people lived in London, I could type in people in London. And here it says, according to the census, the population of London was 8,173,941. The next census is scheduled for 2021. That's actually just taken place. That took place a couple of weeks ago. So that's going to be updated soon. So you can see that the search engine we're using is really, really useful. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to use your worksheet, and I want you to use Google as a search engine to help you find the answers, and then write down your answers down the side here as you're going along. Okay. There's two sides to your piece of paper. Don't do the other side. So the one you want is, it says lesson 1, worksheet 1 at the top. Okay, right everyone. So have a go at that one. Hope you have fun. Please make sure that if you're using search engines, remember to be safe online. Remember to be sensible using it. And if there's anything there that you're not sure about, or you're worried about clicking because you think it doesn't, it's not appropriate, then just put your hand up, and the adult in with you, Mrs. Porter, will probably tell you if she thinks it's okay for you to go into it or not. Okay, guys, I will see you later on for your second part to your computing lesson in a moment.